Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for our Cross Country Championship webinar. My name is John Skees, and I'm the Director of Media for TAPS. We're going to get started in just a couple of minutes, but first I've got some housekeeping items to cover with you. First of those, this webinar is being recorded. You're going to receive an email with a link to that recording as soon as it's ready. That'll be later this afternoon. That recording will be posted to our YouTube page. That is youtube.com/tapsbiz, so that you can easily share that with anyone on your campus who needs this information. Second, if you have any questions while we go through our presentation, please use the questions feature on the GoToWebinar interface. We're going to try to answer those as we go, but if we don't get to yours right away, don't worry, we'll have a brief Q&A at the end of the presentation. And also, if we still don't get to your question, if we run out of time or if it's just too detail-oriented to address appropriately in this setting, please send us an email or call us at the office after the presentation is over. Well, with that, I'm joined today by Brian Bunselmeyer, TAPS Executive Director, Steve Prudhomme, TAPS Associate Director, Robert Huckabee, TAPS Associate Director and Director of Compliance, and Will Dixon from the TAPS office staff is helping us out behind the keyboard today. And now I'm going to hand it over to Brian, and we'll get started.
Thank you for joining us here today. Got a little bit of a late start, but we will catch up. We got a kick at the end. Halloween coming right around the corner. That'll be the day, Sunday, that you can walk through and begin your registration process on site. We're looking forward to that opportunity to see everybody again this year. The actual contest, the championship races, will begin on November 1st, that Monday, and we are fortunate to be able to go back to Cottonwood Creek Golf Course in Waco. We were there a couple of years ago. Thank you to Midway for, during the COVID times, making the arrangements for us to be there, but we're so fortunate to be back to Cottonwood Creek Golf Course. Thank you to Kenny Duran and his entire staff for taking care of us as we move forward. Steve, what are we looking like for weather? What's Earth Network's giving us as an opportunity for this week?
Well, we're going to have a low of 54 and a high of 75. Should be pretty clear, but this is Texas. Stay tuned. So make sure that you are ready, and we're going to have a great race. And again, when the weather's not weird, we kind of get a little confused, but hopefully we'll have good weather for this.
So, might be the best weather we've had in a while. It'll be partly sunny. We're going to have that opportunity to go out and run, a little cool in the morning. It'll be warmer than it will be on Thursday and Friday in Waco, that's for sure. What's up next, Will? So, when can I register my team? You can begin registration on Sunday. We will be there beginning at 3 o'clock. Can you walk and run the course beginning at 3 o'clock? Please don't get there early. They still have golf going on while we're there coming in. They'll be getting those morning sessions out about the time we get there. Can you set up your tent area on Sunday? Yes, you can. The morning session can set theirs up. We're going to ask that the afternoon session not set tents up on Sunday, that you wait till that first session moves out beginning midday. If you do leave your stuff, remember it is at your own risk. A couple of years ago when we were there, the big windstorm came through and many a canopy met its demise as it approached Bagby Avenue. So it is not secure to leave anything you have there at your own risk. If you're having somebody come set up for you, I know we have a couple of you that have tents brought out from a professional supplier. Make sure you tell them where and where they cannot be. Robert will cover that a little bit later on the map. You cannot place markings along the course. We've had that situation a couple times. Remember, only official course markings can be on the course. There will be mile markers in place. We can't guarantee you we'll have them up at 3 o'clock on Sunday, but we'll do our best to have them up before we go home on Sunday. So that session will be from 3 to 6. You can register and walk the course from 3 to 6 p.m. on Sunday. Robert, we're going to break it down to the sessions like we did last year. What does that look like?
Okay, Brian, our meet's going to be in two separate sessions, one in the morning and one in the afternoon. This information is posted on the championship page, on the cross-country page of the TAPS website. But here it is for you to see. That morning session, the facility will open at 7:30. At 9 o'clock, the 6A girls will kick off our meet. And then at 9:15, we'll have the 4A boys. At 9:40, 2A girls. And then at 9:55, we'll jump back to 6A. We'll have the 6A boys. Then we'll have the 4A girls at 10:20, and we'll end that morning session with the 2A boys at 10:35. So by the time we finish that morning section, we'll have boys and girls 6, 4, and 2A completed. As we move to our afternoon session, our facility will open for our afternoon session around 12 noon. If you were at our meet last year, remember we had the morning group come in, and then they kind of packed up and moved out, made room for our afternoon session to come in. So around noon, you can come in, probably a little bit earlier than that. Some of the morning groups will be moving out, but around 11:30 or 12, you'll be able to come in. You'll be able to set up your tent area, get ready for the meet in the afternoon. We'll kick off at 1 o'clock with the 3A girls, then 5A boys at 1:15, 1A girls at 1:40, 3A boys at 1:55, 5A girls at 2:20, and then 1A boys at 2:45 will round out our meet. We'll be doing awards as we go through the day. As we get to about approximately 11 o'clock or so in the morning, we'll talk about awards a little bit more as we get toward the end, but we'll be doing those for the morning session and then again in the afternoon session.
This session's format is similar to what we ran last year. The officials really appreciated it. It gave them a little bit of a break in the middle of the day, especially for our trainers and all that as well. So glad that we could move over to that opportunity and take advantage of it. Again, we will be at Cottonwood Creek Golf Course. Don't go back out to Hewitt. Please go to Waco Cottonwood Creek Golf Course there on the south side by the big Waco ISD Stadium. Steve or Robert, why don't you jump in and talk to us about the map, the parking, and where people are coming in. Give us a little idea of what you see on that happening on Monday.
Okay. First of all, it's good to be home. Coming back to Cottonwood Creek Golf Course this year. Had a fantastic event last year, and now we're back at the one of the top facilities for a cross-country race there is in the state. But we need to make sure that we know where we are and where we should be. Looking at the map, as you can come in from Bagby, you see that at the very top where there is handicap and event staff parking only. You athletic directors, you're not event staff. You'll need to be parking on the outside. That'll only be the tap staff, the people that are working, the vendors, and the handicap. So when you come by Bagby, there should be somebody there checking and making sure that you're one of those people that are on the list. Otherwise, it's open parking. At Waco ISD Stadium parking, you can see where the spectators are, also the team buses as they come in. You see red. They'll be moved around. They'll be waved in to where they need to be. We'll have plenty of parking attendants. We'll also have people on golf carts going back and forth and shuttling people in from the parking lot as best we can. So there will be a good crew of those going as well. And again, when the team drops off the team gate, everybody comes in together. There'll be somebody there to kind of wave you in, make sure you're the right people. And the spectators will have their own gate. And again, we'll take care of them. It'll be online ticketing. We're going to have plenty of help, plenty of people to make that a smooth transition for you as they come in from pulling out their money to pulling out their smartphones and getting in. So we're very excited about what's coming up. And Robert, why don't you move on with the rest of the map?
All right, thanks, Steve. If you'll look to the far right-hand side of that map, you'll see that red line with the arrow. That's the direction you'll need to come in to drop your team off. If you're in a big bus or even a vehicles or a little shuttle bus or a shuttle van, follow that route around the outside of the parking lot at Waco ISD Stadium, and you see the team drop-off area there in red. That's the first gate you come to. There will be event staff there helping assist you, directing you where to drop your team off. Drop all your stuff there. Go through those gates where it's marked there, team gate. That's the first gate you'll come to. That next gate on farther down is for spectators. After you enter that area, if you see down to the left, that green area, team tent area, that's a big area. There's plenty of room down there for everybody's tent. We don't want them in the area where you're first coming in, and we don't want them in the area where we have in the past had them right there where the spectators come through. We want to keep that area clear for people coming in and out all day. So please take your tents on down to that team tent area. Spread those out in that area. As Brian mentioned earlier, if you're in the morning group, you can bring that in and set it up on Sunday afternoon. If you're in that afternoon session, we ask that you wait to bring all that in until you're ready to come in on race day.
So the Team 10 area is the only place that you can put team areas. Don't be up on the putting green. Don't be on the little par 3. And a couple of years ago, the last time we were at Cottonwood, we had folks trying to set up team areas down by the finish line or down towards the tee box for the first and 10th tee. So team areas are only against the fence or in that little area right as you come off the parking lot from Waco ISD Stadium. And then we'll jump on down to the course map that's going to look very similar to what we've done before. Robert, if I'm not mistaken, the finish line is on the 9th hole and the start is on the first tee. So that's where we're going. It does go a ways out. As you can see, there's not a lot of double track between the girls and boys course. We will have the mile markers marked out there. Hopefully we'll have them up Sunday, but we'll have all that out there for you. We will have monitors at all the pinch points. So again, run the course and make sure you stay on course. The big thing that's going to happen as we get closer is there are 37 or 38 starting boxes we're strung across in some of the races. So we'll have to make some preparation as you go out there, see the size of the box and what we had to work with. So take a deep breath and we'll make sure that we work through it. Everything will come out okay.
Real quick, I want to interject. Folks, along that back fence, the perimeter between where the finish line is and the VA hospital, that's going to be closed. That's where our drone is going to be operating. We don't have a drone that can operate safely over people, so it's very important that that you and your fans pay attention to the markings that we're going to have posted. If it says drone line, do not cross, we need you to stay out of there so that we can use that drone. That's part of our broadcast and part of our video board. We're going to have an FAA certified pilot out there working on that. And also a reminder, no other drones are allowed at TAPS events. It is our aircraft only, and we don't want to have that argument with any of your staff or your fans or your parents. We know it's a big space and everybody thinks that they can do that, but it's not safe, it's not legal, and we just ask you to respect those rules, please. Thank you.
Thank you, John. While we're on this map, you'll see there where the little pin is that marks the finish line. That's where our trainers, our athletic trainers from Children's Health Andrews Institute, and others that they use in the area, they'll be set up. If you've been there before, they'll be right past the finish line, between the finish line and the fence that John mentioned there over toward the VA hospital area. We'll have a lot of trainers out there. They'll have multiple tents set up. So if you need a trainer in advance of the finish of the race, that's where they'll be located. And of course, as our racers finish, they'll be right there near assisting if you need any help with that.
All right, Will, drop us on down one. We're just going to reiterate the parking. Follow the instructions on those lines that are published for drop-off, parking, and departure. There will be parking attendants in place to help you. Please do as they ask. They will direct where schools and teams can park their buses and vans. Last time we were here, we had an awful lot of spectators. Make sure we respect the spectator parking lot and not park buses over there. It's harder to get them out. The later you come, obviously, the farther you're going to have to park away, but that's cross-country. It's part of the gig. Spectator parking will be separated from the team parking where possible. That just helps us to know who we need to shuttle in and who we need to shuttle out, and then helps with the folks getting in and getting out after the races. Spectators are welcome. We encourage them. We had a lot of folks show up in a hayfield in Hewitt last year, so we're looking forward to a reprisal of that. Parking in assigned areas. Do not park in the golf course parking lot again. Please park in the stadium parking lot. It will be $7 general admission. That'll be provided on the TAPS website at Hometown Ticketing, and they will have to redeem that ticket at the time they get there, so the spectators will be saying they are COVID symptom-free and do not have COVID. They do not have to have a test. They don't have to have a vaccine. They just are attesting to the fact that they don't have it when they get there. Spectators may not be on the actual race course with the curves and the cutbacks. Just make sure if someone's running from side to side that you remind your folks that there are runners on course and that they should not impede those runners. It could have dire consequences back to your school. Spectators are not allowed inside the finish area, so once it's ribbon roped off, make sure you stay outside the finish area, and then you can find your kids once they get done. School personnel with TAPS cards, if you're coming as an athletic director or other school personnel and you have TAPS card, you will have to have that on you, and we will scan those when you get there. So it's a new little step that we've added this year. It's a different looking card, and it's a different looking process. Robert, talk a little bit more about the team area.
Okay, the team area that we identified earlier on the map, when can we get there, what can we do? You can come. If you're in that morning session, remember, you can come Sunday afternoon, set up your stuff. If you're in that afternoon session, we're asking you to wait until that morning session is over to set up your tent. We'll have people coming and going during that time. There will be plenty of room, so you can do that. what's available. We'll have spaces marked for the teams. Maintain social distancing as you feel necessary. There is no water or electricity there. You can bring your tent, your coolers, your team items, just like you would for any other track meet or cross-country meet. You can set up your little area there. We're asking that music, if you've got music, play it real softly right there just in your team area. We don't want the competition of the bands going on out in the team area with regard to your music. Spectators, trainers. I mentioned trainers. They'll be located near the finish line as we identified on the map. We'll have many trainers there. We have a great staff there. They do a great job for us taking care of our athletes. Steve mentioned the weather. It'll be okay. Might get a little warm later, but I think we'll be okay. But we'll have people there on site to help and assist if we have any needs in that area. Let's talk about registration, Brian.
As we go to registration will be back inside the clubhouse on the west side in the little glass room. So as you walk into the course area, Team IP will be selling merchandise underneath the pavilion. Take a left and go on inside. Kelly and Rhonda will be there to help you with your registration. You can register from 3 to 6 on Sunday or beginning at 7:30 on Monday. Coaches, you'll sign an acknowledgement of rules. You'll sign your COVID-19 compliance and saying that everybody that you've brought, school personnel and runners, are all COVID-free, and then payment of your entry fees if you have them with you. You'll also at that time receive your school roster, your bibs. If you need to replace a runner, you may do it at that time. Those forms will be available, and all information as far as the schedule, your box assignments, etc., will be available then. So registration on site, the little glass room on the west side next to the pavilion, and you will be there from 3 to 6. We'll be ready to go 3 to 6 on Sunday and beginning at 7:30 on Monday.
Yes, and Team IP should be set up, so if you want to buy your T-shirt early, not get caught in the line, the veterans know that they can take advantage of that. So look for Team IP there on Sunday as well.
COVID requirements, we're going to do the very best we can to leave that to your school protocol. So we did keep the 2 sessions in place again this year. That gives us time to get the morning session out, the afternoon session in, allows for some social distancing. In the team area, social distance as much as you need. The way I remember it, they're going to let us go all the way to Bagby or thereabouts to string out your team areas. It may be a lot farther to walk, but at least you can have a place to put your tent up safely. Protocols, again, follow your school protocols. So whatever those protocols are, we're just going to hold you accountable to those. Student entries, you should have already got your student entries in. One of the big things is that I'll skip down one more, one more again. All rank entries must be in rank 1, so if by mistake you put your, by chance, put your entries in athletic.net or some other form, you need to go back in and contact our state office at 254-947-9268 or info@taps.biz. So make sure that your entries are in rank 1. As you go back up, runners are not allowed to run unattached, so they should all be running for their school and in a school singlet or T-shirt, whatever you're going to run them in that identifies your school. The member school must have a coach for each teams, meaning they can have one coach for boys and girls, but each school must have a coach on site. If a school is going to designate a parent, they must be scope certified in as coach. So the coach must be shown in rank 1 and must have completed the acknowledgement of rules process in rank 1. So if you're the cross-country coach and you haven't gone into rank 1 and you haven't completed either your acknowledgement of rules or you're not in there at all, please make sure you reach out to your athletic director or reach out to the TAPS office so that we can assist. Coaches must be in full compliance in order to coach on game day. We will give you a wristband to designate you as a coach. Entry changes on the day of the meet. Basically, what we're going to do is the same as we've done in the past. No changes need to be made now. If you do have changes, you can substitute for a runner, meaning if you have 5 team members presently and you need to replace one, you may do that. You'll do that as the time of registration and up until 30 minutes prior to your scheduled race. So 30 minutes prior to the race, at the time of registration, you may then go in and make a change. However, you cannot add runners. So if you only entered 5 runners, you cannot add a 6th or 7th. You can only replace those that are injured or may not be at the meet. One question that came up again this year is, does TAPS have a minimum time in order to run? That answer is no. Did you have to place to advance at a district meet? And the answer is no as well. So we just wanted to throw back out there that it is an open all-comers meet. You can enter up to 7 boys or 7 girls, and they will run in the meets as scheduled. Robert, talk to us a little bit about the team members who are not participating, those folks that have run with you during the year, or you're bringing them in support.
If you have team members who are not entered in the meet and will not run in the meet, but they've been a part of your team all year and you want to bring them along for moral support, you are welcome to do that. We encourage that. It's a great place, as Steve mentioned. It looks like it's going to be a beautiful day. If they're there to help and assist, that's great. You can bring them. Just when you register, let us know who those are. Just include those. You'll be handed a packet of information when you register, but just let us know who those people are so we know everyone who's at the meet. They will not have to pay to enter. They'll come in with your team. So come in as a group if you're bringing extra team members with you, and they will be allowed on the course in the normal places that other spectators would be allowed. If you look at entry fees, your runners, as Brian mentioned, are registered in Rank 1. If you haven't done that or you did it incorrectly, reach out to our office immediately so we can make sure we have everyone entered in the meet. The entry fee is $35 per runner. The entry fee is due at the time of the meet, so bring that entry fee with you. And it will be owed based on the runners you entered at the entry deadline. So if you entered 7 and only bring 5, you'll pay us for 7 because that's what we've prepared for, and that's how we've issued bib numbers and assignments. So please make sure to take care of that, and our staff will be able to assist you when you register on either Sunday evening or on the day of the meet. Steve?
Also, shoot workers. Schools who enter a team in the race, 5 or more runners are required to have a worker for that race when the team is entered. Workers must assist as they come to the finish line. You may have a face mask that's optional, but be ready there. It helps keep things very organized. It can be very dramatic. I got thrown into the shoot worker thing my first year coming in, but you're there to help them, get them through the shoot, off to the very end, and aid all the workers as they're coming in. So, again, that's a very important job. And, again, we appreciate everybody's help in that. And it'll make the finish line go a lot better, and it'll be a lot safer area for the student athletes if you're doing your job and helping us out there. Moving on to uniforms.
We'll jump back just quick deal on the shoot and the shoot workers. Remember, we're not in a traditional old-fashioned shoot where we're singling you down. You have to walk a quarter mile to get out. It's basically, since we're chipped, you're running across the timeline. Once you've come across that line, then we're going to help move them on out of the roped-off area. The other thing that's very important is if you have a student that's going to be assisting in the shoot area, please make sure that they've removed their bib. Believe it or not, that chip will pick up even if they're out there helping a friend. So just make sure that shoot workers are there. You're there to help assist your runners that may need it when you come off. Really appreciate the assistance.
And the medical personnel are right there on site. They're right there next to you. So, again, if something happens, you just point to them, and they'll be there to assist and take over.
We always appreciate Children's Health Andrews Institute, and we appreciate Southwest Medical. What a great job Jody and his staff, and then the docs and Larry Lasky from Children's Health do on site. Uniforms, make sure that we stay with the NFHA rules. Again, if you're wearing spandex or similar tights, they must have those can be foundational garments, but they need to be similar underneath. If you have a team, make sure that team members clearly indicate they're on the same team. Watches are allowed, hats are allowed. We're going to allow that this year. Again, one of the big things for TAPS rules is going to be the modesty shorts. If you're wearing spandex or you're wearing whatever, especially whether it's a full body suit short or whether it's actual spandex or some other fiber, if it's tight and on there, we need to have modesty shorts on top. That includes in the warm-up cool-down area and in the team area. We would also like to ask that on Sunday while you're out there walking the course and jogging the course, young gentlemen need to keep their shirts on. Let's not run shirtless out there, even though it is a Sunday and it's an opportunity to go enjoy yourself while you're running around. Let's please make sure we do it with a T-shirt or some other covering on as well. Again, the results will be live posted on the video board at the finish. They're not official until the time of the awards. They'll also be posted online with the TAPS fan app on the cross-country page at the TAPS website. They'll be posted on Wahoo Sports, Tom Hill's site. Delta Timing is going to do a great job, but the results will be live as they come in. They just won't be official until such time as we go to the awards area. Steve, talk to us a little bit about TAPS memorabilia. Just remind them again about Team IP.
Again, one more time, Team IP will be there. with all the event merchandise, and they'll be there on Sunday and they'll be there on Monday. So again, if you're going to be there on Sunday, I suggest figuring out what you want to buy and get it done early so you can avoid the crowd. And then also tell your people they'll be on site and direct them there to get these keepsakes and these memories that'll go that you can buy nowhere else but the TAPS State Cross Country Meet. And again, they do take credit cards and they do take cash. So when you get there, be ready to shop and have a good time with that.
All right. Photography will be available there. We have great photographers. They'll be covering the event. We'll do photography of all the awards, so that'll be available. Those will be available about 48 hours after the meet is over. Those will be on the TAPS website. There will also be photographs of the finish area. So there will be various photographs taken throughout the event, throughout the day, that will be available for you on the TAPS website, and that'll be about 48 hours after the meet. We have a great staff. They do a great job. Take great photographs and make those available for you. Awards. There will be the top 10 in each classification, in each race. Will be all state, so awards will be given to the top 10. They'll be brought to the awards area. We'll be announcing when we'll be starting the awards process and which group is up next, and we'll gather all those teams and all those individuals there. We'll do the top 10. Then their team award, let me jump down to the bottom. We'll do team awards. It'll be first through fourth place. So the first through fourth place teams will receive awards. We'll take your photographs there. And then the top 10 in each race. Academic All-State is another accomplishment. That'll be the top 15 finishers in each race. You got to be a junior or senior. You have to have a cumulative GPA of 90 or above. And that is submitted through Rank 1. Those will be due by Thursday, November 5th. So be thinking along those lines. If you have those students that are going to finish in the top 15 and they meet those requirements, that's an entry you'll do in Rank 1, and that's a real simple process to follow.
As we continue to drop down one more, Will, we are going to be in Waco. The Waco Convention and Visitors Bureau is great supporting of us for our TAPS Championship events. So make sure when you get to registration that you've got some idea what hotel you're staying in. If you're staying in one, we will need to collect that documentation, and that sure does help us offset the cost of operating the meet. I'll leave it before we go to questions. I know there's a couple, but one last thing stands out in my mind after the last few weeks of events. I go back to my Charlie Brown days and no dogs allowed. But I'm going to extend it: no dogs allowed, no cats allowed, no pet squirrels, no pet ostrich, no beavers, no raccoons, no possums. If it is a true service dog and it has the vest and you have the papers, then that is obviously one that would be allowed in. If mom or dad just did not feel like they could leave the dog at home, they need to stay in the car. They're not allowed inside the gated areas. So no dogs allowed. If you can get that word out to your parents ahead of time, it sure makes it easier on our event staff that have to stop them at the gate when they come in. So no dogs or pets allowed other than service dogs. So Robert, can you walk through the questions, or Steve, and let's see what we can get done and help y'all have a great meet.
Sure. We have a couple of questions about TAPS passes. We covered that. You'll just need to bring your pass with you, and you'll need to check in there where everybody else is checking in. We have a process now where we scan that. Each school is allowed 10, and so we have those in our system, so we'll scan those, and you will be able to enter for free with your TAPS pass. Another question about where on the website, specifying the website for the tickets. If you go to the TAPS website, that's taps.biz. On the very front page, when you pull it up, there's some yellow boxes there, and one of them says tickets. You can click on that. It'll take you to the event, and you can purchase tickets for this specific cross-country event on next Monday. Another question here about our race rosters and runners. Will those lists be available? That will not be available for the entire meet. When you pick up your packet at registration, you'll be given the list of your runners. You'll be given your bibs and all of that information, but there is not a complete list of every runner in all races.
We'll have the heat sheets when you check in, which will have that information. We will not be posting it ahead of time. We're still working through a couple of those rank 1 errors that a couple of you incurred, so we want to make sure we get them all correct before we get them off and get the bibs and get everything else rocking and rolling on that. So the present time, if we change that, if we get it and we feel confident, we'll they'll let you know. One question came up about payment at registration. Can you pay with a credit card? You should be able to do that. If not, we can definitely bill you from the TAPS office, so don't worry about it. We'll get funny how folks find a way to get money, so we will take it and we will make sure we get that taken care of. You can definitely come in the morning to support other races. You can come as a team, drop off your stuff a ways down and come on out there. So you can come early. Just make sure that you're respectful of those that are actually competing out there. So we'd love to see folks from Houston come support Houston, San Antonio support San Antonio early in the day for sure. We will do our best to have the finish live streamed. We will have the awards live streamed, and we would also as we can, we'll have the mile and 2 mile mark remote streams. So we will have all those, and we will do the best we can to keep those streams alive. It's funny when you're out in the middle of a field, whether it's a golf course or a field, technology does kind of have a problem as we go forward. Starting boxes were assigned by random draw, as they have been for the last 18 years at TAPS. So it's not by alpha, it's not by size, it's not by team, it's by blind draw. So lucky us with technology. You have random generators, and we got to put that to use all the way up to number 37. They are the same for boys and girls in each division. If there are open boxes, then you can move to a different box if you desire, but that would be if there's a stated open box, and you'll be able to see those as you go. As always, we do understand the desire to have a roster in advance. That's a great technological advantage if we can do it right now. I can tell you as of right now today, I cannot do that. So I appreciate the request, and we will do the best we can. Hats to watches. Watches are not a problem, and if they want to wear a hat, I'm okay as long as it doesn't obstruct from the race, so we would allow that. Again, awards are not right after each event. Awards are 20 minutes after the last race in a category. So if we start with 6A girls, then after the conclusion of the 6A boys, then you take 20 minutes and away we go. So if you're in the 6A girls race, it's going to be approximately 2 hours after you run before we start the awards. That way we can make sure everything goes forward. As a coach, if you enter with your team, you do not have to have your TAPS pass. You only have to have that TAPS pass when you come in outside, especially on Sunday. We're going to give you your wristband to take back as a coach, so you'll be fine. There's a lot of questions about what the fans and the live streams, et cetera. We will be sending out a fan email with all that documentation after we get off the webinar today. Share that with your fans, share that with your staff. All that stuff will come out. It will have the live stream information, where to go pick up your pictures. It'll have direct links back to tickets, et cetera. So look in your email, look on the TAPS Cross Country page, look on our social media, TAPS Biz or TAPS X Country, to make sure that you can find that. We will have all that up and ready. And again, our social media department will be tweeting that information out. So for families and et cetera that are behind, have them check us out at TAPS Biz or TAPS X Country and make sure we can follow that through. So folks, we're looking forward to a great meet. Some of you have been there for many years. Some of you, it's your first year. We welcome you both. We look forward to the opportunity for your young men and women. We really look forward to the opportunity for the competition. We're not out of COVID entirely, but it seems like a celebration. It was last year. We can't wait for it to happen again. So, again, thank you for joining us on this call. Thank you for joining us at the meet. If you have questions in the meantime, our information again, info at taps.biz, 254-947-9268, 254-947-9268, and www.taps.biz. You've got the information there on the homepage. Feel free to click on that athletics button and cross country to get a little more information. So we look forward to seeing you on Sunday or Monday, whichever suits your plans. Have a great, safe trip. We look forward to a tremendous opportunity, and we thank you for joining us here today. John, take us on out the door.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Will. Thank you, Robert and Steve. Thank you, folks, for being here today. This recording will be made available to you shortly. We're going to get it up on YouTube, and you're going to receive an email to the same address that you registered for this webinar with. If you need any other help or questions, please send us an email, info@taps.biz, or call us at the office. And you folks have a good day. We will see you on Sunday and Monday.